Welcome everyone to our second installment of the What's Good series. Again, in this series, we'll be taking a look at all of the various inks in Lorcana, and today, let's discuss what's good with Amethyst. Whether you agree or disagree with my takes, please let us know in the comments. Now, each ink in Lorcana comes with its own flavor. Ravensburger has described Amethyst Glimmers as wondrous, for this is the otherworldly ink of sorcerers, sages, animated objects, and other glimmers who use their special powers to achieve their aims. They're incredibly powerful when they have access to their amazing abilities, but may land in trouble if they're stripped of those, or tap into power that they can't control. Now, we can see this flavor represented in the card mechanics and the various packages within Amethyst, and none is more obvious than the draw/stacking package. Now, we're going to start off with the stacking package here to the left, as it's nearly entirely unique to Amethyst. Using their magic to look into the past, present, or future, Amethyst cards can let you see a glimpse of what's to come and maybe even edge it into your favor. Now, Reflection, Ursula's Cauldron, Song, Facilier, and Yzma all allow you to stack your deck in some manner. Anyone that has top decked a Flounder turn 9 or got stuck with a dead handful of uninkables can really appreciate how useful this ability is. Reflection is probably the lowest rated of these cards, as it doesn't have a filtering function and is a one-use action. However, as a cheap action and a song, we may see it become more useful as we gain more triggers on those keywords. Yzma lets you look at the top card of your library and choose to place it on the top or bottom of your deck. This is a very nice bonus on top of questing, but with a 2/2 stat line, don't expect her to stick around for long. Cauldron and Facilier both allow you to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, placing one on the bottom and the other on top. Facilier has a decent stat line and is a nice shift target, but only triggers on songs and after the song has resolved. So yes, you draw with friends before triggering Dreams Made Real. Cauldron is, in my opinion, a very underrated card, as being able to consistently filter your deck can make your play so much more consistent and allows you to find the answers that you need when you need them. When possible, make sure to activate these stacking cards before these next few for maximum value, as we're now getting into the draw package that Amethyst is famous for. Magic Mirror is a funny card because it has kind of been a meme in the Discord for a long time. Some people think it's the best card, others the worst. It is inkless and is very expensive to actually see value from, but it has found a home in some prominent control decks, though I'd usually rather have a Cauldron on the board outside of those situations. The Queen is actually pretty neat. While expensive at 5 ink, her ability to simply exert and draw a card can be really nice to have, but what I like most about her is that she forces your opponent to either deal with her or allow you to continue gaining free card advantage, either making them waste resources or letting you continue to gain your own. It's kind of a lose-lose for your opponent, and I love that. Then we have our most consistent draw pieces with Maleficent and Friends on the other side. Maleficent is a body on the field that replaces herself in your hand, and Friends is a simple draw 2, basically setting the standard for draw cards in Lorcana. The best part about it is that it is a song, and Maleficent can sing it, letting you get a lot more value out of her otherwise subpar body. It's a nice little synergy that's within the game. Finally, we have Jafar, which while he doesn't draw himself, he does benefit from having more cards in your hand. With a big willpower for a 4 cost and 2 lore, he's already pretty decent, but my favorite thing about him is how his presence impacts the board and how you sequence your actions to maximize the benefit of your hand size. Next up, we have our tempo package. Another thing that is unique to Amethyst is the ability to return cards to your hand after they have been banished in a challenge, which is just another form of Amethyst bread and butter card advantage. I have it thrown into the tempo package as it allows you to efficiently trade with your opponent while being able to easily rebuild your board state. Marshmallow is unfortunately inkless and overcosted, making him a pretty bad card, which is an extra feels bad considering he is a super rare. Mickey, however, is overstated for his costs and will only continue to rise in power as more brooms are introduced. And Facilier is simply amazing. While expensive and inkless, his ability to shift 3 lore and global bounce back ability make him incredibly valuable. And he's only rare, and is in the starter. Then we come to Amethyst's other board control option, Rush cards. Rafiki and Zeus are both great at what they do, and simply the fact that they exist can change how your opponent plays from the threat of them. Rafiki is great at clearing away annoying low cost characters, and Zeus's Challenger 4 lets him hit above his pay grade. While he's easy to remove afterwards, the threat he poses, not only from challenging but also from his 2 lore, means your opponent is likely going to remove him from the board, usually by challenging, thus denying themselves that character's lore for that turn. He basically removes a character and steals a lore, so take that, Rapunzel. Then we have the White Rabbit's Pocket Watch, which is an item that allows you to give any character that you play Rush, which can be incredibly valuable with things like the Ruby Aladdin, Steel Takaz, and Simba's, and Mulan's, just a variety of other characters that benefit from having that Rush keyword and being able to come out swinging. It's a really nice card to have in certain deck and certain archetypes for sure. Flotsam, however, is currently overcosted due to its Jetsam Matters aura, but hey, as we see more Jetsams, he could get really good. These two packages together can be really nasty, as sending a rush character into something just to have it bounced back to your hand can lead to some frustration on your opponent's part. Finally, we have the other challengers, Dr. Facilier and Jafar. They've got big butts that can trade up and survive. What's not to love, right? Amethyst also has a small evasive package, but really only Pascal is worth mentioning at this time, and even his stonks have gone down a lot after so many answers have been provided in Steel. Next up, we have our Elsa control package. Now, Vanilla Elsa is really just a shift target for Big Elsa, and Freeze is a hard card to include due to its inkless nature. Befuddle is situational, but can be valuable for slowing down your opponent as your slow control deck ramps up, and late game it can either be filtered away or uses ink. Anna is another situational card, but can be a great follow-up to either of the next two Elsas. Baby Elsa is very useful for setting up challenges with cards like Big Aladdin or Giant Tink, and is a solid shift target for Big Elsa, who's a premier control piece. She also allows you to exert one of your opponents, which the Anna can then come in and make not be able to ready the next turn, which is a nice little cheap control combo that you can pull off early game while building up to your larger ones later on. Being able to shut off two of your opponent's characters for a turn with Big Elsa, though, or set them up for a challenge from other nasty characters is simply great, especially considering that she quests for 3 lore on her own. Plus, by following up with more Elsas or Annas, or even a Be Prepared, you can really lock your opponent out of the game. Ursula, on the other hand, is an interesting card as she is clearly significantly better in multiplayer games. While still decent in the 1v1 with her huge willpower, 3 lore, and stealing a lore and replacing herself in her hand, being inkless and expensive does hurt to include her in the deck. But multiplayer, oh, she's scary. Finally, we are finishing up with our miscellaneous cards. Baby Maleficent is an incredible cheap lore generator, just like Lilo from Amber. Olaf, being a 1/3/1 cost, can actually be really valuable because it can take multiple challenges from your opponent's other weak characters to remove him, making him a nice lore generator on his own. Plus, he doesn't die to cannons or swords. Sven, the Wardrobe, and Archimedes are all pretty standard vanillas, but don't sleep on the Wardrobe, as that 4 willpower can make her annoying to remove at her cost, or allow her to challenge into other characters and survive. Finally, we have Brooms, which I have included here as it could have gone in a bunch of different packages. Its ability to send a card from the graveyard to the deck could go into the stacking or control packages, as bringing a valuable card of your own back is a good tool, but sometimes sending a bad card back into your opponent's deck is the play to hopefully mess up their draws. And its combo with Sorcerer Mickey obviously gives it a place in the tempo package. Overall, it's a neat little toolbox card, but can be annoying to play due to it forcing a shuffle whenever its ability is used. Well, that concludes this episode. Y'all know the deal. Like, subscribe, bell, check out the other videos in this series, and most definitely let me know what y'all think. What's good with Amethyst?